Alright, so I'm at the gym right now. It's chest and shoulder day. I'm actually in the gym, switching up my program a little bit, trying to test out a few different exercises. Because in a few weeks, I'll be switching over to a strength program where I want to focus on pretty much getting up my squat weight up, my max on that, getting my max up on my squats and my deadlifts. So I'll be working on that, and obviously a bit of hypertrophy thrown in there as well. I'm just trying to switch up the program, so I have a few exercises that help assist me in increasing my max. Just finished up at the gym. About to go ahead and head home. Before that, I got a couple errands to run actually. A few things to get. Make some dinner, you know, relax during the evening. For those of y'all that have been following my vlogs, you have noticed I've been using my GoPro, but that shit hasn't been cutting it, so pretty much I'm gonna just go ahead and make the switch over to an iPhone until I'm able to get my hands on a better camera, or just keep using my iPhone in that case. Said I was gonna run some errands, so I think I might as well just go pick up a tripod for the iPhone, start using it, because I mean this quality is a lot more better. And another thing, it's actually really weird walking around talking to a camera while there's people like walking past you, looking at you. So it's like look right behind me, hella people. So it's like big up those guys that vlog on the usual and don't really care about what's going on around them. It's just something you gotta get used to, you know, overcome that fear. So like most of us don't have the balls to, you know, do this. You know, stand in front of a camera and speak and talk and speak your mind and just let things out. But at the same time, it's like the more clips I take, the less of a fuck I give about what's going on around me. What? There's a train. Gotta catch that. Anyway, like I was saying, it's really weird, like walking around speaking to a camera, and like there's a lot of people just walking towards you, looking at you funny. But at the same time, you gotta think, all they do is just walk past you, they look at you, and they go about their day. Nobody really cares about what you're doing, you know? Nobody really gives a shit. So it's just like, you gotta overcome that fear of like people just looking at you, watching you. Alright, so we're at the mall now. I'm about to go ahead and run these errands real quick. Find what I gotta find. Go ahead, get some groceries and head back to the apartment. Errands are all done. About to head into the apartment. Take a shower. I'm gonna drop the shower. Just change real quick and pretty much start making food and all that. Go ahead and turn that on. There we go. All right, home sweet home. So I bought a few notebooks, pens. I'll explain that later. There's a tripod. I even bought a little light. That'll probably help sometimes, you know, just to get the correct lighting, and a bit of super glue. Got a few things to fix. My girl's actually gone for the weekend, so that gives me a bit of free time. She traveled to go see her girls, you know, hang out with them. Oh, hair's looking a bit rough, man. Tomorrow's wash day anyway, and I'm gonna give myself a haircut as well. But anyway, I'm gonna be cooking shepherd's pie, making that. That was one of my favorite side dishes growing up. So let's get to it. For those of y'all that have been following me since the first video, I mentioned something about flight school, and I'm gonna be starting my journey here soon. Unfortunately, I didn't get into my school of choice that I want to. I would have deferred it anyway and started in about a year or two, because there's one step I have to go through first. That's getting my PPL, my private pilot's license. And earlier this week, my textbook actually came in. So I'll be diving into that a little bit later after I eat and relax, you know, just have a bit of downtime. That explains the notebooks and pens that I bought. I'm looking into this camera and I'm not understanding as to why I didn't just start off using my iPhone when I started this thing off. In the first clip, in the first vid, I did use my iPhone. But for some reason, I thought the GoPro was an easier way. It is a more practical way to record videos and things because it's so small and handy. But like during editing and stuff, the quality of video was just straight garbage. And I don't understand why. Why a product that costs so much puts out such garbage. But anyway, what's done is done. Back in bicep day today. Still in that process of testing out different exercises to use as assistance exercises in my strength program. So hopefully I get a few clips in. Maybe I'll add them, maybe I won't, I'll see. All dressed and ready to go. So we're just gonna go ahead and make the trip down to the gym and see if I get any clips in. I did manage to get a few shots in that are usable. I started off with my favorite variant of a preacher curl, a dumbbell preacher curl using a bench. Form is really important when doing these. All of my weight is pretty much leaned up against the bench. It's only my biceps and forearms doing the work. You also want to stand in a staggered stance or an athletic stance so you're doing them properly. Anyway, like I've mentioned in a previous vid, the eccentric and concentric phases of a preacher curl are phenomenal. And when I use the word phenomenal, I really stand by that. You can see it in my face as well. It's not an easy exercise, but even though it's hard, you can still keep pushing and keep going forward, even though you're tired and don't want to give up. Moving on, I've got a seated high row. For all my workouts, I have an A and B day. I do that so I can have variation in volume or so that I can focus on different body parts. Today's my back and bicep A day, so that means I'm working out my upper back. On my B day, I like to focus on my lats as a whole and my lower back as a whole. This exercise does hit my upper lats, but it's a part of my upper back, and plus that, I'm trying to grow some wings, so why not? I absolutely love the stretch that I get at the top right before I pull it right back down. So I'll definitely be keeping these going forward into my strength mesocycle. Okay, so moving on, we've got our common seated cable row. It's been a staple in my back workouts for years, and every time I do it, I enjoy doing it. There's also a lot of variations to do it. Here I'm using the more common V-bar variation. This is also an exercise I love to do progressive overload on, because the heavier it gets, the more challenging it becomes, and I love a challenge. Up next, I had seated machine rows. Not quite sure what I was looking at there, but okay. These are always fun and challenging to do. For me, it's one of those exercises that I'll use on and off. It's not an exercise that I'll constantly use. The last time I did these was probably about 6-7 months ago, and then I stopped right after that. These are also really fun to do in my opinion. Really fun to progressively overload. It also takes a while to progressively overload them. So in other words, I'll definitely be adding these to my program when I switch over to the strength program. Lastly, I did some straight arm pull downs. I love using these as either a warm up or a finisher. Really great on the upper back, especially if you do them correctly. Really a simple exercise, straight to the point. Doesn't require a lot of weight to get it done. Also had calf raises as usual, 4 to 5 sets of those. Still training those 4 to 5 times a week. I also had a few sets of 21s, 2 to be exact. But like I mentioned earlier, training my biceps is something that I want to cut down, keep to a minimum. So going forward, I'll probably just have one bicep exercise followed by 4 to 5 different back exercises for every back and bicep day. Back at it.